Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. 2 weeks left of school. This is your final project, and now I'm going to start explaining things that you need to look over for this project so you won't have any inconveniences as you're working on it. Of course, I'll be talking about this in class, but I want to just make this video for you to be able to, you know, become familiar with the essay structure once again, and you don't make any mistakes further for your final project. Okay, so let's look at it. So the name of the presentation is Oscar's Essay Project. It was created by teacher Isa. I made some changes to it so we can work with that. Okay, so it opens up right here. Once it opens up, one of the first slides that's available is your bank of knowledge. You've copied this already, but the bank of knowledge has advantage and disadvantages. It has good vocabulary that you can use in your essay. All of it that you see right here is pretty much an option for your essay. It's formal writing. It could be informal, but it's also formal writing. So pretty much everything in here is an option that you can include with your good chunks, advanced chunks, normal chunks. Just make sure you don't do any question chunks like the article or informal letter or things like that. You don't do question chunks. It's always general chunks or passive chunks and personal passive. Continuing with that, exercises. This is just a little bit of giving you ideas about like things that you can say are far from the countryside or far from the city. Things that you know can be close to or near the city or near the countryside. And you have different vocabulary that you can use, of course, like mountains, farms, highways, entertainment options. You guys know the entertainment options: cinemas, shopping centers, malls, etc., etc., etc. Of course, you can always use whereas, while, and these are contrasting ideas that you use in the middle of your paragraph. Or if you want to add more information, you say what is more, or you can say in addition, things that are like formal connectors that I have taught you before. Of course, you give your opinion, you give reasons, and you give examples, but just make sure that when you're expressing your opinion, you're defending your position, and you don't want to be informal. You don't want to say, in my humble opinion, what you should do. No, this isn't like that. This is always speaking in general. People consider it is undoubtedly clear that people have an idea that cities are the only place where you can find a good job. So this is what I'm talking about. Always general speaking, no my, no you. You guys know this already, but I just want to keep reminding you, okay? All right, going over with that. This is the actual project. You have your essay chant. We reviewed this in the last class. So you guys know that you have to give your position in the introduction, defend your position in the body paragraphs, and give your final opinion in the conclusion. You have an example of what an essay looks like on the right here. But of course, this essay is not about the actual topic, city and country. It's a little more about like hobbies and the advantages of hobbies. So it just gives you an idea of how the structure is from the introduction, the three body paragraphs, and then to sum up from my point of view, we ought to da 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 da. That's always the structure for the conclusion. Okay? Here you have again ways that you can begin your body paragraph one. Firstly, it's always important to sequence. It shows that you're well organized with your ideas. Firstly, and you start with a verb ing, or secondly, you can start with a noun, or finally, you can start with a passive or a chunk that is a general chunk. So just make sure that you can use whichever order you want to, but just make sure that you do firstly, secondly, finally in your beginning of body paragraphs, okay? So make a reference to how it reinforces your position. What is that position that you're defending? If your position is defending that it's better to live in the city, make sure that your body paragraph is focused on those ideas connected with the link that you need for each body paragraph. And if your position is that it's better to live in the countryside and it's not really good to live in the city, then you have to defend that in each body paragraph. Do not forget that. All right, going over with this. So, for my SO groups, I have put that this is the question. It's also for my FCE groups, but how many people living in a city How many people think living in a city is better than living in the countryside? Do you agree? So the first body paragraph is going to be focused on amenities. Remember that amenities is comodidades. Environment, you can include maybe issues with transportation, traffic, pollution, air pollution, water pollution. You think about it, you go with it. It could also be in your favor if you think that living in a city is good, but you could talk about what cities are doing to be conscious or environmentally friendly. So if you are defending that living in a city is better and you're connecting with environment, look at the positive things that some cities might be doing in favor of the environment, to be aware of the issues that are happening. Okay, your own choice is based on three options. I put the three options in the examples of the body paragraphs. You will see that soon. Remember that in the introduction you generalize, in the body paragraphs you specify, and in the conclusion you just generalize with your final impression. Okay, so this one is connected with amenities. You have ways that you can begin your introduction. People nowadays, people are told to, or we are taught to, da 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 da. You think of how you're going to begin your sentences. All right, focus on amenities would be your body paragraph one. Okay, generalizing chunks. Generalizing chunks, it is believed that, it is said that, people tend to think that. Okay, formal chunks that you can use. Again, body paragraph 2 is focused on environment. I just put some examples here of how you can do it. You should use this space, vocabulary, and BOK, Bank of Knowledge, to just brainstorm ideas that you can use for your body paragraph before you start writing. It's always good to have a plan. So write down vocabulary that you can connect with the position that you're defending. Look for vocabulary that you can find from your bank of knowledge that will be useful, and you can create good sentences with that. Finally, as I was saying, for my ESO students, I'm giving them options to choose in body paragraph 3 if their position is going to be connected with the pace of life of the cities or countrysides, with the price, or social interaction. Whichever they feel is best, you get to choose. I'm just giving you some ideas on it. Eventually, when I read and correct them, I'll notice if you're talking more about the pace, about the price, or about the social interaction. And again, remember you can start with a verb ing, a noun, or a chunk that is impersonal passive or generalizing ideas. All right. So again, more information on the introduction, different ideas about agreeing or disagreeing, which is why, therefore, for this reason, or if you disagree, you have contrasting ideas like although, however, despite. The same thing goes with your conclusion. To sum up, or in conclusion, you decide one or the other, but you have to do to sum up or in conclusion. Zoop, from my point of view. You summarize your opinion, you use a connector, then in that second sentence, you give your final impression with a modal verb. Like people ought to consider. It must be remembered that we definitely ought to consider. This is how you finish. That's the last sentence you need for your conclusion. Okay? And remember, not my opinion, like, oh, I think that you should. No, that's the article, that's reviews. This is an essay, remember, very formal. And I put this last slide that gives you chunks. As you can see, you have all these chunks in your notebook, but the ones that I put in pinkish purples, the one here in the bottom, are chunks that you can use in your essay without a problem. The ones that are in blue, I wouldn't use them at all. Do not use them because they're informal. They're for articles, they're for reviews, they're for letters. You do not want to use the ones in blue. So I highly recommend that if you are going to use chunks, that you use the ones in pink or purple. And for my advanced students, the FCE students, they can use their advanced chunks without a problem. They know which ones they can use as long as it's not saying you or I, okay? As long as it's being general. Okay, and here are some phrasal verbs that you can look into and possibly use as you're writing. But you already have a list of the phrasal verbs that you can use in formal writing and informal writing. To sum up, do remember that this is an essay, this is your final project, and that you want to be able to open your notes and read carefully. Make a little plan, as I've taught you before you start writing. Make sure that your topic sentence is connected with the question. Make sure that if body paragraph 1 is amenities, that the topic sentence begins expressing that this is the amenities position. This is the environment position in body paragraph 2 connected with the question. This is my third body paragraph connected with the topic question. So make sure you do not forget that. All right. If you agree, be strong with the agreement, defend that position. If you disagree, also do the same. Show that you're disagreeing. Tell me why you prefer living in the countryside compared to the city. Okay, class. I hope this was useful for you, and I'm putting up this slide in all the Google Classrooms that I have so you can look into it. And if you have any further questions, you can ask me during our class this week. Okay, have a lovely Monday and start of the week. 2 weeks left. Let's do this, guys. We got this. Woohoo!